Welcome to the Heart-Centered Hustle podcast. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Jhelwig, and I am your host. This podcast has been designed to shine light on how the top mortgage loan originators and influencers in real estate, leadership, and wellness from across the nation have built systems that led them to growth and freedom through meaningful change. In each episode, we will uncover how thought leaders in these industries paved their path to live a life without limitations. As a production, health, and lifestyle coach, I believe in the importance of implementing holistic approaches and developing habits in business and personal life that support and empower success and well-being. Through the theory of bio-individuality, we recognize that everyone has different wants, needs, and desires. By uncovering the things that support individual health and happiness, we have found that when implemented with intention, ultimately lead to success. As an advocate for creating flexibility and freedom in our lives, I am excited to welcome you into this space where we will discover how harnessing the power of a positive mindset and living in true alignment with our purpose will guide us to lead with our hearts and fulfill our greatest desires. Now, let's get started. Enjoy the show. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Heart-Centered Hustle podcast. I am here this morning with the lovely Amanda DeFilippis from Loft Realty in Delaware, and I am really excited to have her on today to talk about social media and the power and excitement around the different platforms that we have and also ways that we can support women. So there is a lot of content and a lot of really fun and exciting stories that we will talk about today, but I just wanted to introduce Amanda and welcome her to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to talk more with you and just to tell everyone all about social media.
Yeah. Well, you are like the queen of social media in Delaware, I feel like, with all of your videos and everything that you're putting out. When did your passion for social media and content and just kind of being creative start? Were you like a little girl when that started, or as soon as you started to develop your career, did it kind of start then, or what's the backstory around that?
Definitely before. I have been doing theater since I was like literally right out of my mom. I am so theatrical, very creative, love to sing, love to dance. I have videos of me from the time I was 2, seeing The Little Mermaid. And so being in front of people and performing has always been a passion of mine. I love to do it. But social media, I didn't ever turn to social media to kind of promote myself or to share that creativity until probably college is when I had different internships where I got to be like social media manager for different companies for a theater, for a boutique. And so as I started doing that as a job, I fell in love with it more and more. And I saw how much creativity you can really have with it. And there's literally no limit to what you do with social media or what you post or what you want to do. So I really enjoyed that. And then of course, when I became a realtor myself, I figured the best way to show people who I am was just to promote me as my own brand. And through my performing skills, I started creating videos, which is something that not a lot of people really have been doing yet, but I love to do it because it makes people laugh. And it's really fun for me. I mean, it is probably one of my favorite aspects of the job is just promoting myself. And oh my goodness, I've got a frog in my throat this morning, is educating people. And so being able to do that while also keeping my passion of performing has just really helped me continue to do it and stay consistent with it.
That's so exciting. And I think when you were talking about, building your brand, you're really able to figure out how you want to express yourself and the different platforms that you want to be on, whether they're for your own personal enjoyment or when you're creating your videos, your real estate videos on, digestible like portions of information that people will really resonate with and learn something from, or even like be inspired by. And I've just loved watching you. I think we've known each other for a year or so, right? Maybe a little over a year. And even like the first time I saw one of your videos, I was like, wow, this girl is like owning it. Like she's got it. And over time, you just continue to develop and figure out what works for you and, the types of content you want to put out and share. And I think what you said too about, sharing what you like to do personally and developing your brand as Amanda, the person, the fiance, the daughter, the friend, and then also Amanda, the real estate agent. Like, you wear all of these different hats. And then I think what people really like to see is you in all of those roles and not you just, sharing content on, your job and the real estate market. It's like, who is Amanda? Who is this funny chick that I always see on Facebook and TikTok,
Yes, and people connect to that
Yeah.
so much more than posting about your job. Don't get me wrong. I think there's aspects of my job that people relate to or they find really interesting, especially when I'm telling a funny story or sharing my grievances about the job. Sometimes people really relate to that because everyone has pros and cons of their job.
Right.
But when I'm sharing something more personal about myself, I do find I get more engagement, and I've had people reach out to me individually. Like, actually, I had someone who just reached out to me. She's a photographer in Delaware. Never knew her, never met her, and she actually photographs other realtors. But she reached out to me, and she was like, "I feel like I know you. Like, I feel like I can talk to you for hours." Because I've watched your videos, I know what your personality is like, I know what you sound like, and all of that stuff. So it kind of created a relationship with someone I didn't even know I had a relationship with, so that when she did want to actually form a work relationship, it wasn't like starting from scratch. Right. She already knew who I was. It was just now getting to know her.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, that is so cool. And I think too, I was just going to say something similar to that. Like, when you're putting yourself out there and really letting people know who you are and you're expressing yourself authentically, people love that, and then it attracts people that have similar energy and want to be around people that fill up their cup and make them feel good and get them energized. And your personality definitely is so like upbeat and like bubbly and fun. And who wouldn't want to be around that, And it's exciting to see and feel and experience the energy that you put out, because the other thing that I like about what you do is that it's consistent. And that, I think, is also super key to creating your brand and a following and a reputation too, because if it's more sporadic, people might just forget about it and be like, oh, I saw a video of Amanda like 3 weeks ago and now I see another one. And then who is she? Like, I can't remember. You know what I mean? So like creating that consistent flow of content is really valuable.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget that when it comes to social media, it's really a long game. It really is. I mean, you have to be doing it consistently, and you have to figure out what it is that you are good at and sharing that. And honestly, the greatest thing about social media is you could post 5 different videos of you doing different things in every single video, figure out which one got the most likes or the most engagement and the most interest, and then just keep doing that. I mean, for me, it was real estate, and it's doing the voiceovers. I mean, I do love to just talk and educate myself, but the voiceovers are funny. People relate to it. Other realtors relate to it. And being able to do that on a consistent basis, don't get me wrong, is very difficult. Sometimes I forget, like, I haven't posted a video in 2 days, and I'm like, oh, Amanda, get on it. But otherwise, I'm still trying to at least show people like my day. So even if it's not an actual video being posted, still engaging with people through my story and kind of giving them an inside look as to what I do on a day-to-day, both personally as Amanda, but also me as a realtor, really is great. And more people should do it, especially in any industry that you're in, but especially as a salesperson. It cuts the wall between I'm selling you something and you're my client. It really helps you form a better friendship and relationship with that person. Like, for example, the person that I told you about this morning. To have a client call me with a personal issue to talk about it as if I was their friend means that I did something right, and we have a better relationship than just I sold you a house.
Yep, right. It's about developing the friendship, the safety, the rapport, all of that kind of stuff. And people love to do business with their friends. Like
Yes.
people love it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
People love to go shopping with their friends,
Yeah.
you know? I want to shop with you.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. And it's such an awesome opportunity, number one, to network, to grow your business, to scale, whatever it is that you're selling. Um,
Right.
but it's just such a great opportunity for you to generate better, stronger relationships. And who wouldn't like to get 5 new friends every single week out of different business transactions that you do? Like, how cool is that? You
Yes.
know?
And honestly, well, with so many of my friends being out of state, it is nice to then meet people
Right.
consistently and creating those friendships.
Yeah.
And where that's going to take you later on in life.
Exactly. So true. So one thing I noticed that earlier, I don't know if it was yesterday or earlier this week, you went to some like networking event, cocktail hour. I'm not sure what it was, but I don't even know if this is like on topic, but I guess it sort of is in terms of you, anyone in any industry getting out there and meeting new people that are within their industry and just building your network in a natural, organic way, and continuing to meet new people will create more opportunities for you in the long run. And I just wanted to hear, like, if anything kind of came of that. Did you meet anyone that like you really connected with, or how did that
Yeah,
work?
it's pretty funny. So it was Cocktails and Connection. It's hosted by the Garmin Group, and it is so great that they do that because it allows other people in different parts of the industry, whether you're a lender, an inspector, if you're a contractor. We had a plumber that was there yesterday. I got his name and
Oh,
number, so
nice.
now I know him. Or just new agents who are new to the business and who want to talk to people who are a little bit more
Hmm.
veteran. I still consider myself a brand new agent, but I'm happy to say that I've been in the business over a year and a half now, so I have a little bit more understanding than someone who just got into it yesterday. But I did have the opportunity actually, because Delaware is so small and you can never get away from anyone. I saw someone who I went to elementary school
Oh
with.
my God.
Was We have not seen each other maybe since oh God, fifth grade.
Wow.
And so now she's trying to become a realtor and she's about to pass her license. And literally, I had the opportunity to tell her a little bit about my experience, what things I did right, what things I would have changed. And she's going to be coming to our brokerage networking event in June. So now she gets to then meet like my brokerage and
Hmm.
maybe we'll be working together. So
Cool.
it's so funny how those events, you do get to see a lot of the same people because we love hanging out with each other.
Hmm.
But those new people who come in, it really allows you to give them a very welcome, a big welcome, a warm welcome into
Yeah.
this industry, which can be very, alone
Hmm.
sometimes and you're kind of doing your own thing. So to be able to have that support and that friendship, even from someone who's not in your team or in your brokerage, is really, really
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to run into. And I think in any type of sales role, in any type of sales industry, it's really important to just be open to the possibility of, you could just meet anyone, and the
Yeah,
possibilities are just like endless. And you just have to be open, I guess, to that, and want to, put yourself out there a little bit. And sometimes, maybe depending on your personality or whatever, it's not always the most comfortable thing, but it always feels good when you kind of get to break out of your shell a little bit.
definitely. And if you are someone who is at a networking event where I'm at, if you're not saying hello, I will probably introduce myself. So I'll take, any pressure off of you introducing yourself to random people. I'll just come up to you. And it's really nice to see kind of everybody who the questions that they have, or it's supporting each other. I say screw society, whatever the patriarchy,
Hmm.
any system. Like I think having legitimate conversations with each other about the industry, what you're doing, what's working, what's not, what are your numbers? As weird as it is that people hate talking about numbers, I think it's so important,
Hmm.
especially as an agent, to know, okay, that's where I want to be. They can tell me how to get
Yep.
there. And I think having that support from the get go makes the whole transition so much easier.
Oh, I love that. And I think when we talk about or think about our goals and where we are right now and where we want to be, we are always looking, not saying that we're comparing, but we are looking at people that have done it before us, that have what we want. And I think the biggest lesson is to take advantage of the people that have done it already and find out what worked for them and have those conversations. And, you know, we all learn from trial and error, and we don't get everything right on the first time all of the time. But I think when we open ourselves up to say, you know, this is where I want to be next year, this is where I want to be in 5 years. And I know the whole numbers thing can be a little bit uncomfortable for a lot of people, but challenge your friends, challenge your coworkers to do better. And, you know, people want the best for you. I think everyone has the best intentions or should have the best intentions, you know, but I think, yeah. So I would just say for anyone listening, if you are in that position where you're on a team and there are numbers involved in terms of volume or production or anything like that, to just continue to strive and do as best as you can. And I know in the real estate and mortgage space right now, it is quite an interesting time for all of us. So, you know, we're all just trying to figure it out and do the very best we can. And I mean, I'm sure that you have some crazy stories and things that you've seen lately. I know the last time we talked, that was like over a month ago, but has anything kind of come up for you guys lately in, you know, your market that you've seen that you might want to share with everybody?
Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, I just had this one house. It was listed at 515. We put in an offer for 550, and it was an offer like we were waiving appraisal. We were going to make up the difference, everything. Our offer didn't get accepted. Found out that the home actually went under contract for 616, $100,000 more in Hocassin, of all places.
Wow.
Which is just craziness. Now, I will say that is not typical right now in this market at all. I do feel like we're seeing a shift of things slowing down. I think homes are sitting longer than, you know, the 4-day average that we were going through. And that's exciting because I'm having more clients who are first-time home buyers getting homes under contract for under asking price, or they still get to keep inspections. They don't have to sell off their second child to get a home accepted. So that's really been great. And then even with my marketing and my social media, I mean, I'm seeing great changes when it comes to the consistency that I've been doing is now finally, like, I'm reaping the benefits of it. People are reaching out to me more. I actually just had my first TikTok go viral, and that was amazing. It was a good feeling. It wasn't as crazy as like 1 million views, but 25,000 views.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I will take that.
Yeah.
Absolutely take that. And nothing to do with real estate at all. Simply was just me talking to my camera about the fact that people kept telling me that I was crazy, that my fiance and I actually booked our venue before getting engaged. So he proposed, and we already knew the date when we were getting married.
That's hilarious.
And everyone, my parents, my family friends, they were like, Amanda, you're doing it backwards. That doesn't make sense. So I just needed some validation that I was not alone. And TikTok, they came and they supported me. They were like dozens of messages just saying, yes, girl, I did the same thing. My boyfriend and I are doing the same thing. Like, every single person. I didn't think I had a single negative comment. Everybody agreed. That's the way to do it.
Wow.
You're not crazy.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm going to have to take some notes.
Honestly, most of my education, I feel like right now is TikTok-based.
Oh my God. That is hilarious. I know that there is so much content out there that all of us see and consume every single day. And I just want to go back to talking about a person that might not be comfortable walking up to someone and starting a conversation. What if they also want to, or they have the desire to make a video and talk about something on their camera, but they don't have the confidence to do that, or they don't know how, and they don't want to look bad, or they don't want to sound weird. Like, what kind of advice would you give someone that is feeling some resistance to doing that, even if they have a desire that they want to? Like, how would you suggest that they kind of step into that discomfort and, be a little bit vulnerable to get outside of their comfort zone?
Yeah, I mean, I will say it's easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have this conversation a lot on my team because there are people who I work with who want to get into social media, but they hit a wall block when it comes to either feeling confident on video, not knowing what to say,
Yeah.
feeling like what they have to say isn't important or it's not right, caring what they look like. And my team leader, Zach, and I always say to them, you really just, excuse my language, you just don't have to give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, really don't care what people think. And it's very hard. It's hard to internalize that and to get to that point. Don't get me wrong. It took me a while to the point where I will post something and I really don't care if it does well or if it doesn't and what I look like. Obviously, I, as a normal person, really enjoy taking pride in what I look
Mm-hmm.
like, but at the same time, I'm not overcritical of, what I'm saying or what my face looks like or what my clothes look like. And it's hard to get to that place. Don't get me wrong. There's, to be honest, I don't know if there's great steps in order to help with that, but the first step is just doing it and just trying it.
Yeah.
Because the longer you sit in that box, it's going to make it so much harder to try to get out of it. And so really just small steps. It could be as simple as starting to post on your story. You don't have, that goes away in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever sees it and then it's gone. So start posting, on your story, whether that's about your day. Heck, I would do things as simple as taking a picture of my breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
And then, doing a showing later on, talking about your struggles that you go through day to day. People really like seeing genuine content.
Yeah.
And then as you get more comfortable showing yourself and showing up for your audience, then you can start posting more like legitimate videos of yourself where they stay there and it's on the internet for the, for the rest of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of those things where learn from other people, copy and paste. That is the best advice I can give to someone. If you see someone doing something that you like, copy what they're doing it and do the same exact thing. It could be a video that you saw if you like their content, like the exact topic that you were talking about, and you're like, wow, I know a lot about that too.
Mm-hmm.
I should talk about it. Do it. Obviously, don't plagiarize. Don't do things word for word, but you can still take someone's idea and recreate it because no idea is original. I can tell you that right now. Not a single idea on the internet is original. It was learned from someone else or it was thought about from someone else. Like, we all inspire each other.
Mm-hmm.
So even you creating your own original content probably came from seeing someone else doing something that you liked and you wanted to do it yourself. And then someone will see you doing it and then try to recreate it. So it's all a matter of getting out of your head and realizing that even if it's reaching 3,000 plus people on this video, does not mean that those 3,000 plus people are talking about you or being hypercritical to what you look like. It's all in your head and you just have to get it.
Yeah. That's great advice. And I think the two things I heard you say is just take the first step. You just have to do it and getting out of your own way, getting out of your own head, because we as humans are so good at making stories up in our heads about what other people are going to perceive from us and how people are going to judge us and what they're going to say and what they're going to think. And that keeps us in the box. Like, that keeps us playing so small and so safe all of the time. But, and I'll speak on behalf of my own life experience here, staying in that box is the most boring place ever. Like, it's not fun. It's not, like, people don't want to join you in the box. Like, people want to get outside of the box. People want to do cool shit and see and meet cool people. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
people don't want to join you in the box. They want they want to meet you outside of the box. And I think the other thing I'll say on this topic, and then I have another question that's on my mind that I want to ask you, but people will be attracted to the energy that you put out. You're not going to attract everybody, but you will attract the right people. And I think, the content that you're putting out, Amanda, and that photographer that reached out to you, she was like, I dig Amanda. I love her vibe. I love what she's doing. I love what she's sharing, and I want to get to know her. Those are the true, authentic, organic relationships that are super valuable that we can gain through different platforms and different social media channels, which is really exciting. And we're living in a day and age where, our parents didn't have this opportunity. Our grandparents didn't have this opportunity to meet so many new people that are not in our, 10-mile radius around our house. So I just think there's so much opportunity there. And just remembering that we have to be as authentic as we care to share on social media. And that will kind of tie into my next topic. Not saying that we have to spill all of our thoughts and feelings all of the time. But when you're creating content, Amanda, when you're talking about developing your brand and, being Amanda DeFilippis on social media, how have you created vulnerability and transparency and connection with your audience outside of, posting things about real estate?
Oh gosh. So I'll be honest, I don't post too much. I think there's a line and I have a boundary when it comes to social media in regards to posting things about my personal life
Mm-hmm.
that show vulnerability. Like I actually was talking about this with someone the other day. I have seen so many videos of people, celebrities, influencers who will post videos of themselves crying. Like they'll be the camera, I guess, is in front of them or posted up somewhere and they're having a moment to themselves. They're crying. They're videoing themselves crying. And I think that is really great for showing vulnerability and showing to people who may think that these icons to them are indestructible,
Mm-hmm.
but in reality they're not. They're still human beings. I personally have never felt the need or like I don't want to cross that boundary, I guess, with people. I think when it comes to showing both the good and the bad sides of everything, not every part of the bad parts of my life I want to showcase to people, but I also will be honest, I am privileged to say that I don't have too many bad parts of my life. I am very happy in the relationship that I'm in with my family, my friends, my job.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of the negatives that I'm posting or the vulnerability that I'm sharing are usually job related
Mm-hmm.
because that is where probably the most stress comes in my life is just from working with different people and different situations every day. And I think showcasing the times that I win and the times that I lose are a good way to be genuine and show vulnerability to my audience to let them know that, hey, like, you may think I'm doing really well in this position, but hey, I just got a contract that fell through yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
or someone just yelled at me, or I couldn't get a door open. Like dumb things like that,
Yeah.
I think allow people to kind of get, again, a glimpse into my life, but I still have that anonymity.
Mm-hmm.
Or, is that a word? Yeah, I guess so. When it comes to like me being me,
Mm-hmm.
and I always know that there's parts of my life that I'll never showcase on social
Mm-hmm.
media because I like it to be sacred for myself.
Yeah.
There's parts of my relationship that I don't want to show on social media because I want that to be just between the two of us. And so it's a balance. Don't get me wrong. It
Definitely.
definitely is a balance. And I think there are people who do really well on social media by being extra vulnerable about themselves and their personal life. And then I feel like there's others who maybe are more like work related. So it's it's hard to find exactly what's going to like work for you. But I think once you know who you are and you know what your own boundaries are, it makes it a lot easier to designate, okay, this is me and this is like to me social media is a part of my job.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yep.
I like to have that separation between like job and my personal life. That kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, totally. I definitely should have taken notes on all of that. Because I feel like there's so many things I want to touch on, but I think what you just said about knowing who you are and feeling comfortable to set boundaries is huge. And not, you know, not many people have the ability or desire, maybe, to set boundaries. Setting boundaries is really difficult. It is so difficult. And I have found that once you're able to do that, I know some of the people that I talk to, I feel like it's easier to set boundaries with than others. But I think it really just comes back to you feeling powerful and secure and confident in your own skin. And like you said, knowing who you are and knowing what serves you best. So, yeah, if you don't want to be the person on social media crying and taking a video of that, you don't have to be. For you to set the boundaries of like, okay, social media is part of my job. I like to showcase a lot of my life, but it's also really important for me and also special to keep some certain things just for me and my boyfriend or just for me and my family or something like that. And, sharing the successes that you find in work and also some of the difficult times that you find in work that you like to share. And not every day is going to be like a perfect day all the time. Not everything is always going to go your way. And, God bless that there's so many great things that are going on in your life that are really positive. And it's also really important for, all of us humans to remember that even if things look like they're going really well on social media,
You never
you
know.
never know. You never know. And I think that's why this is sort of related, but a little bit not, but it's just being kind to everybody that you come in contact with because you never know what someone could be going through. And I think this is where we can sort of talk about other women on social media and how we can help support them in terms of feeling confident to just be themselves and not feel like they have to be somebody else in order to feel love or validation or anything like that. Because I think, women in our society are definitely pressured to be a certain way and look a certain way and act a certain way. And that can be really difficult. And it's an interesting time that we are living in right now. But we have a lot of amazing leaders and influencers or people in these spaces that are changing the way that a lot of people think about things in a more positive, open, and inclusive way, which is really important.
Yeah, and it's great. I love hyping up other women on social media, and I think more women are being more vulnerable and trying to get away from any stigma that we
Mm-hmm.
have about women in
Yeah.
social media. Like, for example, there is a friend of mine. She is also a lender, but she is a badass bodybuilder. And when I tell you, she loves posting about the progress that she's seeing in her body. And she looks damn good,
Mm-hmm.
like amazing. And so every time she posts something, I'm like, I wish I had the confidence to post about my body like that. I'm so hyped for her because she even is so excited to see like the confidence in her body and seeing like that body positivity of a woman feeling and looking strong is so amazing. And then I also have like other people that I follow who help me with my own mental state when it comes to being a woman on social media, who are showcasing the fakeness that is on social media. Like a girl, I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with Facetune. It's an app. It can immediately change your face and your hair to look like an airbrushed model,
Wow.
like like that. And this one influencer literally will post side by side pictures of like, this is like level 1 Facetune, level 2 Facetune, level 3, and you can see the difference of how fake it gets.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see what the picture was before, and she looked beautiful. And it's a nice reminder for me, but anybody else who follows her, that those influencers that we do see all the time who look picture perfect may not actually look that picture perfect
Mm-hmm.
in reality. Um, Or like this girl, Remy Bader, who I follow on TikTok and Instagram, is she's a plus size model, but she loves to post about clothes that are supposed to be large or supposed to be for a plus size person and fit terribly wrong, like are too small or way too big or don't look flattering.
Yeah.
And it's a huge kind of light bulb into the fact that even our fashion industry has it wrong when it comes to sizing and women and what, you know, what fits and what doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think the more that women show up on social media with being their most authentic selves and showing that part to the world and not being worried about looking plastic or being perfect all the time, it relieves the pressure on like a normal person like myself or like a friend of mine or a cousin or whoever else that is also following these women and gets a better sense of, okay, if they're being their authentic selves, I can too. Whether that is or crying on video or whatever it is. And I think the more that women show up for other women and support them in whatever they are doing with that, the better we can kick out all those stigmas that, you know, society has for us.
Definitely. And setting a good example for people around us. I mean, I feel like doing things like that in terms of supporting other women and hyping them up and just, you know, making them feel like they are important and they already are beautiful the way that they already are. I feel like that reinforces it for us as individuals, but you are also setting a good example for other women or young girls that are around you. And it's so like, I think back to when I was like in middle school or high school, like, Amanda, how old are you? Like 28?
25.
You're 25? Okay. Okay. So we're about the same age. I'm 26. But thinking back to when we were in high school, like the fashion trends and what the heck we were wearing, going shopping at like Limited 2 in like 6th grade. I'm like, what did my mom let me walk out of the house in? And now I look at pictures on social media. Not that this is a bad thing. I'm not like giving Gen Z a bad rap here, but like they look older than we do sometimes, you know? And I'm just like, it's so funny. This one girl that I know, her name is Taylor and she works for Betches. Do you know that account? Yes. Okay. So, my friend Taylor is like the marketing girl for their entire social media. And she posted this hilarious side by side of like her when she was in, I don't know, 8th grade, 9th grade, whenever, a long time ago. And then someone else the same age in like current day. And you're like, what happened over the past like 8 to 10 years? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
But social media had a lot to do with that. It's the influences that we see. It's the fact that all of us are like glued to our phones all of the time. And it's the amount of content that we're consuming. So for you and I and anyone else that is, you know, on social media for their jobs or for their career in, you know, whatever capacity that is, to set the example of, you know, inclusivity and, you know, just connection and support of other women and men too. I don't want to single them out, but I think it's really important to just recognize that we have a huge role to play. It's definitely different than from what we grew up as and what we were wearing.
They're not going through an ugly phase like we went through.
No.
Or an awkward phase or a goth phase. Like I look back just at my pictures of like corduroy, like above the knee, khaki pants with like a light blue Abercrombie and Fitch shirt, and then a white tank top underneath, kind of like, coming out. I'm wearing like sparkly Sperry's, and I'm like, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
And props to Gen Z who has figured out who they are maybe a little bit earlier than we did.
Yeah.
Maybe not completely personally, but at least with their fashion, they have more people to look towards to help them We did not.
No.
Or even maybe the people that we look towards also weren't
I think
doing it
everyone
right.
just looked the same. We were all wearing that.
Yes.
The sparkly shoes, the corduroys, the Abercrombie Hollister, all that stuff.
I walked into Abercrombie and Fitch yesterday, literally last night. One, I'm mad because they have really cute stuff and they only sell their jeans in store. But even still, like I'm looking around and I'm like, man, even these clothes, like they're so cute. They've stepped it up. Where me as in my 20s would still wear this stuff, but it's, targeted towards Gen Z.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we were just in a different time.
We
were
were
behind.
We were. Oh my God, that is so funny. So, Amanda, when you create your content for social media, what have been some challenges and like opportunities that you found along the way that have really served you, and different things that you've had to sort of work through as you are creating this brand?
So one of the things or tricks that I first started using, and that really helped kind of guide me into it, was this program called Coffee and Contracts. And it is a group of women who actually create content for you all the time. So they like send out a monthly content calendar and they're like, hey, on this day, here's the picture, here's the caption. It was like, I didn't have to think about it. It was just available for me. And so that was a good way for me to get started, because it allowed me to not put too much work into it. It was just right there. And I was able to be consistent with my posting, which is so important. But being able to be consistent with it and not really have to think about it, so that by the time I was doing it so often, I didn't need that program anymore, because I started realizing that the information that they were putting out there most of the time is reused. I can tell you that for anyone who's doing social media. You can take the same topic and post it 7 different ways and post it again on your story 10 different times, and it could be the exact same information, but people would never know.
Yeah.
People would never know. And then having that kind of guide me allowed me then to kind of step out of my comfort zone and start trusting my own skills and just trusting myself when it came to social media. Videos obviously became kind of like my thing to focus on. I love being in front of the camera and I love performing. And so kind of taking that on and focusing more on improving my skills with video is really where I saw my content and my engagement and my reach all kind of increase and get so much bigger than it ever did before. So that kind of is like how I got started, and then what I'm posting. But when I'm posting every day, it's really like a routine for me, in the sense of I know that every Wednesday I will post a like or meh story about different houses, and I can always expect myself to like post that on Wednesday. People can expect that. And then every other day, like I have an idea in my head of what I want to post, and you almost have to plan your week out. So I'll sit down on a Monday, maybe look at some videos that I saved, plan out, okay, this is what I'll make. And I won't say exactly when I'll post them. It all just depends on my schedule. So you don't have to be so, strategic with it.
Yeah.
Especially timing. Like, God knows I don't care about the time when I'm posting things. But I think just making sure that all of my content is genuine. Either I'm showcasing who I am, or I'm educating people, or I'm informing them about something, figuring out what exactly is the purpose of this post, and then deciding, what day to do it. I try not to overload people with my face too much, seeing me on Instagram and Facebook. So it's a balance, but when it comes to, especially in real estate, there's content all around to be made. I mean, whether that's a walkthrough of a house, a video testimonial, me educating someone, or showcasing my outfit for the day, like anything could be made. And so there's a countless number of content ideas that are so much they vary so much more than just directly what you think you should be posting about.
Right.
So that makes it easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually curious about if you had like a content schedule, like how you came up with the different ideas. And I think what you said about just seeing what other people are posting. Like there's so much out there that's at our fingertips 24/7. So whether you see a video on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, whatever that you like, save it, take some notes, and then make your own. You know,
Yes.
it's really that simple. So if anyone listening is just struggling figuring out what the heck they're going to post, find something that somebody did that you like, that you feel inspired by, that you feel good about, that you're knowledgeable about, and then make it your own and post it. And I think that's just one step in the right direction. As you continue to get more comfortable, like you said, you have to just do it, you know?
Yes. And honestly, literally being able to just find content that you enjoy, see someone else doing it, like you said, loving it, just copying it, just doing it yourself. There's no rule out there that says that you and Tammy Sue down the street can't make the same content, because you're going to be reaching different people. You have different spheres. Like all of that stuff is like, don't even think about it. Everyone's doing the same thing. I mean, I can't tell you how many influencers I follow who are posting hauls, or different people who are posting about DIY home decor, renovations. Like, just do it. You're going to do it differently than somebody else would, even if it's about the same topic.
Yep, that is so true. That's so true. And the one thing I want to just ask you real quick before we start to wrap up has to do with comparison. And how we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I feel like this is such a huge topic for men, women of all ages. Like, I kind of thought after high school, I was like, oh yeah, things are just going to get so much better after high school and the drama will stop and whatever. But I feel like it really doesn't. And it's up to you to figure out where you want to put your energy, where you want to put your time, what you want to consume. And as a social media content creator and consumer, actually, because we're both, most people are, how do you step into a space where you feel empowered to not compare yourself to what other people are doing? Because we're always fed so much information all of the time. And especially on those days where you're just like not feeling like yourself, maybe you're not feeling as confident. How do you maybe post content when you're not quite feeling like you're in the right headspace? Or do you even post content when you're not quite in the same headspace? But how do you, kind of remove that comparison conversation from your head?
It's hard. I mean, I will be very honest. I compare myself a lot. I mean, it's natural. It's easy to do when you are consistently consuming social media, especially as I am, because I'm always looking for new ideas or, a new video sound to use. And so part of my routine is actually going through and scrolling through social media. And so it's hard to not compare. When I do compare, it's more of a push to be better for me, in the sense of, like, if I see a video from an agent that I really, really like, I save that as inspiration. Not so much even like comparing myself. I might say like, oh, wow, that video is really good. Like, my lighting didn't look that great. But I will then use that to inspire me to be better always when it comes to my videos or my content. When I'm not in the right headspace, I usually don't find that I post too much. I try to make sure that, if I'm being present somewhere, I'm being present. Or if I'm just not really feeling like posting anything, I won't post that day. I am not so strict with it to the point where I will be upset, if I didn't post something at the end of that day, or, oh crap, I didn't get that video out. I'll post it tomorrow. It's not a big deal. But comparing and not comparing, it's really by trying to change your mindset to looking at people, comparing yourself, and using that as ammunition to better what you're doing. Instead of looking at yourself and saying, wow, I am just not good at this, I should stop. Say, okay, they're clearly have a skill that I'm lacking when it comes to this. How can I get that?
Mm-hmm.
Doing it, it's for me too. It's you have to put everything into perspective of, okay, where am I at versus where are they at? I'm looking at this realtor who, lives down in Florida and is selling $1 million homes, and her videos are super luxurious. I'm in Delaware. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so making sure that even when you're looking at other people's content, realizing that they may be in a different place than you, both location wise, but also just in their life.
Yeah.
They have more experience than you. Heck, they could be in the business, 10 years and have been doing video for the last 5, and you just got in and just are starting it right now. So it's making sure that anyone that you are looking at their content and you're consuming it and seeing it as inspiration for yourself, ideas for yourself, and it's education for yourself.
Right.
It's free education to show you what you can do, and just to do it.
Yeah.
So it's hard, but that's kind of how I try to switch it around in my brain so that it's just something where I look at it as, okay, I want to aspire to be this, not so much as, oh, I can't do that ever.
Right. Yeah. You're looking at it as an opportunity to grow and just be better. And when you're thinking more in the future of like, okay, well, this is where I am today. I can't change where I am today, but I can change what I do tomorrow. I can change tomorrow and the next day and the next day by what I do today. And that's posting my first video. And that's getting on camera and doing something that's so uncomfortable for me. And I'm stuttering and I'm saying, and I'm saying, whatever, like what, whatever it is. And those people that are making those amazing videos started at square one at one point. So enjoying the journey and enjoying the process and trusting the process, as cliche as that is, it's so true, because you have to. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You just have to, stay the course if that feels right to you, if you still feel inspired and you want to do those things. But I think that changing, your mindset around comparison and looking at it more as like an opportunity is really powerful.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, Amanda. Thank you. So as we start to wrap up, I was just curious, thinking about heart-centered and what your vision is for your life and for your business, or, whatever kind of comes to mind for you. What is your vision for your life? Like what's on your heart to create?
Well, my overall why, I guess, as to like, why am I doing this? What is the purpose? For me is to have a happy and fulfilling life. What that looks like to me is probably different than, what it may look like to other people. But my vision, honestly, even when it comes to like real estate and my job right now, is kind of taking a step back. I see myself being able to oversee, whether that's a team, whether that's a group of agents, or I have my own company where I'm teaching people social media. I'm overseeing that. I'd like to be able to be a facilitator of things and not so much someone who is a direct participant in it, and allow myself to be more present in life and not so much focused on work, because I am a workaholic to the max. That's great, and I'm down for the hustle right now. But I know that my full vision of my life and kind of where I see all of this going is definitely to take a step back, to allow myself to travel, to be with family, to grow a family, to be able to be very present in my life and have the privilege of enjoying my life the way I'd like to, while still educating and helping people, but maybe not doing it as directly as I am right now. And I think for me, like the big why is, my biggest fear too is leaving this earth without having fully engaged with it, or not having fully experienced it. I love Delaware. I have to see what's outside of Delaware. I want to see what's outside of Delaware, and being able to put in the hustle now to then allow myself that time to do that for myself and for my family is the most important thing, so that, whenever that time comes and I do leave this earth, I can be able to say, okay, I've lived the life I wanted to live. I did the things I wanted to do. There was nothing holding me back, and there was no regret with anything. No regrets.
Wow. Very cool. I love that. And I think especially where you are in your career right now, you started in real estate how many years ago? 2 or 3?
Yeah, 2. It was the end of 2020.
Okay.
A year and a half, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And, just thinking back and looking at how much you've accomplished and everything you've done so far, and how much is ahead of you that you might not even realize yet. But having that dream and that vision and those goals in your mind about what's important to you, what's important, and what success means to you, and what really is going to resonate with you to have you live a life that you've always wanted. Like, sometimes that's hard for people to articulate or think about. And it sounds like you are on an amazing journey. That's so exciting.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So at the end, I always do a couple rapid fire questions. So before we do that, where can everybody find you if they want to get in touch with you?
So the best place to find me is either on Instagram or Facebook. You can look up Amanda DeFilippis on Facebook. Friend me. I will usually accept every single person who friends me. And then on Instagram, my Instagram handle is @AmandaDeFlip. And I believe even my TikTok.
Perfect.
I think so. Let's check. Yep, it is. It's Amanda DeFlip. So you guys can find me Instagram and TikTok there, and like all the videos that you see come your way.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So just say whatever comes to mind. All right. Okay. So who inspires you?
Oh God. That's so hard. So many people inspire me. Right now, the person that comes to mind, and he's a huge supporter of mine, is my team leader, Zachary Faust. He's a huge inspiration to me in the fact that he is so good at what he does, and I want to be where he's at and have all the recognition that he gets, and be able to have his brain sometimes, because he juggles everything, and I don't know how he does it.
Aww. Shout out to Zach. We'll have to share this episode with him.
Yes.
Oh, so cool, Amanda. And then last but not least, what is something in your life that you are so proud of that you have created? Not just in business, it could be, personal life too, but what is something that you're proud of that you've created?
Right now, I am very proud of the home that I am creating with my fiance. We bought our home last year, and since then, I even look around and I love coming home to this home, just walking in. I love what it looks like. I love what I feel like when I'm here. I love the memories here. So I love what I've created when it comes to my own home, because I lived at college all throughout, or lived at home at college. And so being able to have my own space to both create for me and someone that I love immensely, and be able to have this for us has been really beautiful, and I'm excited to see what more we do with it in the next 5 years.
Oh, so cool. So exciting. Well, thank you, Amanda. This was such an awesome conversation, and I cannot wait to have you back on another episode sometime soon.
Yes, I am very excited. Thank you so much, Jess.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Heart-Centered Hustle podcast. As always, I've been your host, Jessica Hellwig. Don't forget to visit us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or Spotify, and check out my YouTube page. If you're a real estate agent or a loan officer and are looking for a change of pace or looking to grow your business, reach out to me at jhelwig@annie-mac.com. That is JHELWIG at Annie, ANNIE-MAC.com, or shoot me a text at 610-301-9706. And you can also find my contact info in the show notes below. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.